What started as an outdated entertainment center has been completely transformed into a custom built-in display that looks right at home in our family room. In today's video, I'm putting the finishing touches on this makeover by styling every shelf with pieces I've collected over the years, from baskets and pottery to books, greenery, and family treasures. I'll show you how I create a warm, collected look without spending a fortune. Hey everyone, Joe here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. And today I'm going to continue in my quest to transform my old entertainment center into a display case for our family room. So in my last video, I showed how I transformed this old entertainment center into a more modern, I hope, looking piece of furniture here. And in today's video, what I'm planning to do is to style this piece. Now, this is always difficult for me, all these shelves and everything. I mean, I like the display capabilities, but it's always a big challenge for me. And I'm kind of envious when I see other people on YouTube do it with such ease, or what it appears to be with such ease. So I'm going to try my best, and I'm sure those of you out there that are watching will give me some critical comments on what you think and how I did it. So we have 9-foot ceilings here, and I like to fill the top of the piece of furniture with objects. Now, I don't know if that's because I'm a maximalist or just because I can't stand that large space, which was funny because as I was doing it, Marianne came in and she was looking at it and she said, "Did you shorten it? It looks shorter." And that's because the pieces that I usually have on top were not there. So it does work in giving it height. So what I'm planning to do first is to try to fill up that space from the top of this piece of furniture that we now have up to or closer to the ceiling, just to give it a sense of more height. There's nothing like the soft glow of lights on something. So what I decided to do, because I had it and I didn't want to go out and buy something, you know, those LED lights, which I could have, and I may in the future, but for right now, because I want to get done, I actually used a string of Christmas lights up there. So I just put a few in each area. Remember, there's 3 areas here, so one on each end and one in the middle. And what I did was I kind of just randomly placed them there. I didn't even count them. And what I'm going to do is push them in the back. So what will happen is they'll send a soft glow up onto the wall, just like that. Isn't that neat? Simple and easy. I'm going to start by using some large wicker baskets. It lends some texture to the area, and because they're larger, it will give me the height that I need. Now, I didn't necessarily want to use any faux florals, but it is summertime, and again, it just a little bit of greenery adds a little bit of life going on up there. So I'm going to start by putting this large basket right in the center. And that makes 3. And later on that night, I was sitting in the media room. We were watching TV, and I was looking over into the family room, and I was staring at the piece right here, and I was thinking, okay, well, I have those 3 clumped up there right in the middle, but it looks like the edges are a little bit bare, so we need something there. I didn't want to put more wicker baskets because then it starts to look a little bit too country. So I thought, okay, well, what do I have? And I started to think, and I was thinking, okay, it needs to be height, and maybe on the thin side. And first I thought about lamps, and then I was kind of like, nah, no, not lamps. And then I remembered I had 2 tin canisters that have kind of a wicker look to them, and I thought, well, maybe that might be okay because they're thinner, they're not so dense, and they will give height. So, of course, I ran up into the attic to get those 2 canisters to put up there, and I'll show you that right now. So this is what they look like, right? They kind of look like they're wicker, and they're thin enough, and they give some height. So pretty happy with those 2. Now there's just a little spot right there that I don't care for, that maybe I'm going to have to add a little bit of greenery to. So here's my first real conundrum, what to do there. Push them back, squeeze them together, or put some greenery. So I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to see what I have upstairs, and we'll take a look at that. I added in these little half baskets that I had made to reduce that little space in between there. I think I like it a lot better. What about you? What do you think? Okay, onto the center shelf right now, and I'm trying to think exactly what I want to do. I'm going to put a little bit more on this shelf than others. I'm going to start with some books on the left-hand side right here, and then for some texture and for height, I'm going to add this wicker basket to carry the thought of the wicker basket down onto the shelves. And then these two bottles, one of them is green and the other one is a brownish color, so it coordinates with everything. And then this clock that I got from my retirement, what are they trying to say? Time's up? I don't get it. But anyway, that is what I put up on this shelf. I was thinking I needed something up on that shelf where I'm pointing to right there to balance it out, the greens, but I eventually removed it. It just was a little bit too much. All right, now I'm going to move on to those side shelves up there, and they're kind of squatty, because I had to even out the shelves. So I think I'm going to start by putting a few books here, and then I'm just going to add in a little plate stand with this little leaf plate for now until I decide exactly what I really want to put there. All right, so there's the top shelves done. I did a cross there, and I guess I'm going to do these two next. I have two different pictures, but they both have handles. They're different colors, but they're similar in shape, so it appeals to my sense of balance. All right, next I'm going to move to the two shelves right below those, and this is where I started to get a little bit confused about exactly what I was going to do. So I decided to add a few more books here, still these white books. I'm going to add a couple of plates in, these clear glass green plates. And originally I thought I wanted to use these two figures, this police officer that was given to my father and this little boy that was given to me for my birthday, painter. Somebody said it reminded them of me. And I put that there, but eventually I'm going to change it. Didn't like it, so now I added in some white and green plates and those candle holders, which again I changed, didn't like that either. And then I decided, let me center these. So eventually, after much staring at it, I decided to put one book up on its side, and then I did it on both sides again to appeal to somewhat of my symmetry, because it's not all symmetrical, but shapes are similar. But these two happen to be exactly the same, just mirror images of one another. I tackled this shelf next, which is right next to these center shelves, you can see, and I used these three objects right here, the that beautiful pottery that was given to me by my friend that comes from Colombia, and then the green with the grapes because it coordinates with that pot, and then my mother-in-law's little pitcher right here with a fruit on it as well. So I thought those kind of went well together, not matchy-matchy, but similar thought pattern. Now on the other side, what I did was I wanted a grouping of three as well here. So what I did was I used that big brandy snifter that comes from my mother and father. I put some 3 green pears in there to pick up the green. I have this canister, which was my mother-in-law's, again with a little bit of green in there, and this green wine bottle that was Mary Ann's grandfather's. And again, I think that trio works well there. Again, not the same as the other side, but balanced. So for now, anyway. Now below that right here, I decided to use this green ginger jar standalone. It does have a cover. Where it is, I don't know. I saw it and I cannot re-find it again. I'll find it, but I wanted to let this stand alone because I really like this jar. And my father found this jar on the side of the road and he repainted it for me. And again, like everything else, has a special memory. Now on the opposite side, what I did was I used this clear jar, but it has the similar shape. I put the tassel on it, which is gold. That one is green, but again, similar. And this time, because that has clear color, I added this green little thing here. and it picks up that green color. The bottom shelves were the most challenging because remember, the whole idea was to let that heat come out, not now because we're passing out with the heat, but in the winter, so that it can come out. So I did not want to clog it with stuff. So I just used a bunch of books that my sister-in-law just gave it to me. They belong to Mary Ann's brother. They're home improvement books, but they're books. I like them. I added this old antique cigar canister, and then in the middle here what I did was I added the books symmetrically, but I added a grandma's biscotti jar down there, and that little boy that reminded somebody of me painting right there. And then down this end, just to soften it, I added, and for a little bit of lightness because it's very dark down here, I added this copper pot with the trailing green plant. Okay, so let's take a look at the whole thing. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you're all doing okay, and I'll be seeing you really soon with something. Okay, buddy, take care. Bye-bye.